Hey everybody, welcome back. James here again with you. And today I'm just going to do a simple video and compare me sharpening my knives with stones by hand versus an actual knife sharpening system. Now I have the Stone Pro system here. Now just to make this more equal, I'm going to be actually using the same stones that I'm going to be sharpening a knife with on the system itself. And the knives that we're going to be using today are just some brand new knives in a package from Harbor Freight. Nothing fancy, just to see which one's better, or if they both put out the same equivalent of sharpness. So reason why I'm doing this, just to see if we can get, you know, the knives sharp, the same sharpness on the system, and me doing it freehand. Because you see a lot of people buying these systems now, and they're not cheap at all. I mean, you can get some cheaper ones, but the really high quality ones can range from a couple $100 all the way up to thousands of dollars, and that's not including the stones that you have to do these with. So like I said, just some cheap stones. These are just whetstones. This one is a dual-sided stone. I'll be using one side of it, the 240 grit, and then I have my Smith's Pocket 1200 grit Arkansas stone. So like I said, running the same stones, both knives, one on the sharpening system and one on the stones for me doing it freehand. And technically, the only biggest difference that I can see is that the knife sharpening system is what it's supposed to be, is more consistent with the angles. But we're going to test that out and see, and then we'll test the knives out in the end. Once I get done sharpening them with the stones, I'm going to strap them with my razor strap, and then we'll run them through a paper test. So let's get started. Okay everybody, so here's the knife that I just got done sharpening with the freehand stones, and I still got my knife over here that's stuck on the sharpening system. So I could tell by feeling that the knife that I freehand sharpen is sharper, but that doesn't mean anything. I think the reason why the sharpening system isn't as efficient, and let me tell you why, tell you that the sharpening system itself took me longer to finagle with to get it set up and everything. And so on the video I'm actually run that at 4 times the original speed, and me hand sharpening, just because I'm so rhythmic doing it, I'm only doing it 2 times the speed to match up with the sharpening system. So freehand, and that's why I wanted to do apples to apples, because the sharpening system, you know, using the same exact stones, the only thing with the sharpening systems like that is you got to change the height of the sharpening arm when you change size of stones. Now if I had the same size stones it wouldn't have mattered, but so let me show you. Little $4 cheap Harbor Freight knife. Now it's not sharp by any means, like super sharp, but it wasn't cutting this good out of the box, so. And I put myself on a 20-minute limit, because that one was almost 20 minutes before I even got it done, and I was like, I don't want to be here all night sharpening. So paper test. Now I'm going the opposite way, because that'll tell how well you got your other edge on your other side done. If it cuts it nice and clean, that means you got your edges on both sides of your blade, pretty much equal. Now let's try the sharpening system knife. Didn't do too bad. Not too bad. According to paper, they're both equal, but from my feeling it, you know, on the edge of my fingertips, feels like the one that I hand sharpen is just a hair sharper, but that doesn't really mean anything. You guys can see it here that, I mean, they're both cutting through paper. A little bit's catching, but I mean, these aren't super sharp anyway by any means, but sharp enough to cut paper. And like I said, that just tells to see if your edge on the other side of your knife cuts pretty good. So it's not really tearing, but it's not slicing cleanly, so both the sides of the blade are pretty much equal. So here is the blade again for me hand sharpening. Paper crinkling. Not very good paper. So, you guys be the judge. Tell you the truth, I think they both work great, but whatever you're more proficient in, it comes down to the user. If you can sharpen better with the system, go for it. But if you can't justify spending a good amount of money on a system like this or any other, you know, name brand versus sharpening by hand, you know, truly you can get the same amount of sharpness out of both ways. I feel more comfortable in doing it, and you know, feels more pleasing to me doing it the natural way by hand. Like, you know, I was quicker at doing it, not because I was trying to, because I was more fluid, and that's just what I'm used to. Even though I've had this sharpening system for a year or so, almost a year actually. I got it last year around this time, and I mean, it works, but the thing is, they have specifically designed stones for these versus just your regular whetstones that anybody can go pick up at your local department store or hardware store or wherever. But so anyways, when it comes down to it, technically both the sharpening systems can sharpen the exact same, but it just depends on what you're better at. So like I said, if you can justify spending good money on a good one, go for it if that's what you want to do. But in my opinion, I can't see spending a good amount of money on something like this when I can get just about the equal sharpness doing it by hand. So anyways, guys, if you like what you see here, please give this video a like, and also tell me what your thoughts are on this. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So as always, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this test. So we'll catch you on the next video, everybody.